No, sorry. And we're going to go left down Oxford Street.
Save our lions!
Save our lions!
No more trophy hunting! Stop killing lions! Stop killing lions! No more trophy hunting! No more trophy hunting! Save our lions!
Want to be free! Want to be free!
It's almost a year now since Cecil was killed in Zimbabwe. I remember that day very well. I was in the Born Free office, and Will Travers and Mark Jones, a lot of the other people that play such a key role in that organisation, were all a long, long way away in Vancouver, just to start a conference on caring, compassionate conservation. And I got this fax come through from our press team with the name of this dentist, Walter Palmer. And it came from the Zimbabwe Conservation Trust, an organisation that does very, very good work in very difficult circumstances in a very corrupt and dangerous country. And I remember looking at it, and it had the name of the dentist, it had his address of his office, his passport number, everything. And I said to the press team, if this is real, this is going to be a massive story, but we can't do anything because no one's verified it. Within half an hour, the Daily Telegraph rang to say, we have verified it, we're putting it on the front page in the morning, we'd like to do an interview with you, which I did. And then I went on to do an interview on the BBC World Service, which had Johnny on there from Zimbabwe, who got the information out, had the tourism minister from Zimbabwe responsible for overseeing some of this madness of hunting, and a particularly young lady that had become a key target for Ricky Gervais. You all remember her killing giraffes, and he really went to town with her. And I had this very heated discussion on the World Service with this young lady who believes she has some spiritual enlightenment by killing animals. And we sparked a debate. And the minute I came out of that interview, I went and did a live interview from the office in Horsham for Sky News. And then I got a call from the BBC, from our press office, to say, listen, this story is getting bigger and bigger. Can you come up to Salford, Media City, and we're going to line up interviews in the morning. So by the time I got away from Horsham and up to Salford, it was about 11 o'clock at night. By then I had 15 interviews lined up for the next morning. 2 appearances on BBC Breakfast, the Today programme in England, Today programme in Scotland, 5 live, every channel that you could amazingly suddenly get access to wanted to talk about this particular incident with this lion in Zimbabwe. And I got up after about 4 or 5 hours sleep and went across to Media City in the morning. There was no one around at that time, and there's me and a security guard. And I looked up, and all the screens were running the story of Cecil the Lion. I looked down, and every newspaper had this story on its front page. And the security guard goes, you're the lion man, you're going to be busy today. And my God, I was busy. But what I loved about this issue suddenly is that people like me and Mark and others here, Virginia, we know this horror has been going on for generations. Campaigned against it, written articles about it, but never, ever, ever had the chance to talk to the world in the way that we did about this madness of Cecil. Was it because Cecil was filmed a lot in Zimbabwe? Because he was a real tourist icon, probably? Was it because it was the summer and there wasn't many other stories around? Quite possibly. Or was it just because of people like you that were putting your images on social media, that were campaigning so hard to say to the media, it's not you that set the agenda anymore, it's us, and we're sick of this horror, and we want you to do something about it. And I remember going on the BBC in the morning and being asked by the presenters, who were really, really genuinely shocked, do people truly kill lions today? Yes, they do. Do they kill them with bows? Yes, they do. There is not one endangered species in this world today that you cannot kill as long as you've got enough money in your wallet. Do any of you think that's right? No! And this is not just about hunting. It's about the worst type of corruption. In places like Robert Mugabe's Zimbabwe, wildlife is for sale. It's a commodity to be traded. He's selling elephants, flying them out of the country at about $25,000 a piece. You trade in those countries in death and destruction for greed, ignorance and exploitation. Does any of us here feel in the modern world that we should be wiping out wildlife just for insatiable greed of corrupt politicians, should we? Of course we should not. It's absolutely horrific. And what I wondered about that 24 hours when I and other people in Born Free and other NGOs like Lion Aid and IFOR were working hard doing all their interviews is we changed everything. By the time that 24 hours was over, people like Peter, people like Chris, people like myself, Adam and others in our Born Free office in the United States had created such a big story that the Prime Minister was having to talk about it, the German Chancellor was having to talk about it, the American President was having to talk about it, and Cecil's face was on the side of the Empire State Building. And by the time we finished a few weeks later, we started getting airlines banning trophy movement. We started to get shipping companies banning trophy movement. We got the American government to move quicker within a matter of weeks than it had in a decade to bring this to a close. One person now that believes this is justifiable and should go on anymore. But I'm afraid there is still work to be done because the Prime Minister over there still hasn't quite got the message. There are certain individuals who still believe there's an economic argument for trophy hunting. There is none. There's $1 billion a year that goes into the Kenyan economy through tourism. If you put all the money from all this blood sport together, you'd only still get a few $100 million. And most of it goes nowhere near good people who need it or conservation efforts. It goes into safari companies and into corrupt politicians' pockets to wipe out the species that he's hanging on by his fingertips. Does any of us feel that's justifiable? No! We have to bring this madness to an end, and this march is part of that process. We will stop the import of trophies into Britain. We will shame the politicians to do it. And we will make progress in Europe to shut this off as well. And you're all quite rightly concerned about Donald Trump and his sons going around wiping out wildlife. I am too. But that's indicative of what rich people do. If they've got enough money, they think they can kill anything that lives on this planet. And that has to stop. Would you agree? Yeah! We do not have time anymore. We have, at the moment, probably less than 15,000 lions left. When Virginia was born, there was probably 500,000. So in her lifetime, they have all but disappeared. Do you want to be the last generation to see lions in the wild in Africa? Because you could be. And it's in our hands to protect them. We must act now. We must force governments to change. We must stop the greed. And I'm afraid we must tell people, even if they are doing good work like Prince William, that you are wrong to support trophy hunting. Wouldn't you agree? Yes! And WWF, you do some very good work, but you are wrong to support trophy hunting under any circumstances. Wouldn't you agree? Yes! And the IUCN, which I'm very pleased to see that Born Free has joined, is a terribly important international conservation movement. But you must understand there is no justification for trophy hunting. Wouldn't you agree? Yes! Keep fighting, everyone. Keep working together. What we've done today is a starting point of cooperation. And it will build in America, it will build in Europe, and it will build across Africa. And we will stop this madness. And you can tell your children that it was you that made a stand. It was you that stood and be counted. It was you that stopped and said once and for all, no more killing. No more killing.
No more killing! No more killing!
Thank you very much. Thank you.